online interactions not rated by the ESRB. Because they knew if they waited long enough, then the online capabilities of these games would just become non-existent. So yeah, I keep registering myself as like a ripoff of Big Dip on a bus, so I figured I might as well start this LP the same way as he did with his Platinum. So, let's see if I can work out this whole on-the-fly editing thing as well as he can. I've got what I feel like is a slightly better setup though. We're about to find out if I actually am good at this stuff. Yay. I think the way he set it up was like he would just switch the screens around, like he would just like switch them around or some stuff like that. I just have two entirely different scenes here, so yeah, I'm not doing a very good job. I probably should have practiced this, because I did practice it, but it was like months before I even started this LP. I just wanted to get a decent setup. So here we have Pokemon Storm Silver, except I literally just said Storm Silver and not Soul Silver. Let's just go ahead and skip this and get into the game, because this, as it has been alluded to already, yeah, we got a ROM hack here. Sacred Gold and Storm Silver are a pair of ROM hacks made from the same person who made Fire Red Omega. So if you watched my LP of that, you will have a fair idea about what you're in for. Obviously, with the big difference being that it's now a 4th generation game, I have to sort of take that into account and worry about different mechanics and a whole bunch of more Pokemon. Large-scale migration. Good job. About as random as the whole, like, fighting the primal Pokemon towards the end of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire just somehow changes the ecosystem to the point where it brings back a whole bunch of other Pokemon to Hoenn that inhabited it, like, hundreds of years ago or something like that. It's a bit Deus Ex Machina, but whatever. This is a ROM hack, so you can just sort of kind of excuse the person for trying to come up with some sort of reason for it, even though it's not really that great of one, but whatever. I suppose if this takes place in the same sort of universe as Fire Red Omega, then I guess it would make sense. So... wait, where'd the T go? Okay. Must have just misclicked that one, but whatever. I don't really go with any other characters unless I decide to randomly play as a female character, in which I just call a Starlet, but for the most part I just stick with the Red Star name because it's easily recognizable. And documents, yeah, they've got a few of those documents, blah 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 blah. I'm not entirely sure. I actually wonder if I can open this thing up. No, I can't. It doesn't show up on the thing. I was going to see if I had any anti-piracy codes active, because I'm not entirely sure if I need them or not. So, whatever. I'm not going to bitch about it too much. Just immediately gives everything out here. It doesn't give you the Pokegear, because for obvious reasons. But you will also get your bike immediately, which renders the running boots completely and utterly moot, unless they are in areas where you just can't get them. And also you get GB sounds right off the bat, because it was kind of pointless to just have it as a locked behind having to get 16 badges in this game. So now you just have access to the GB sounds, which I will probably mess around with from time to time. I might as well switch them on, just to add a little bit of nostalgia to the feel here. While I'm here, actually, I should probably mess around with this. I think there's a certain window type that I like. Yeah, this one. So we'll have a look around here. And just that. Just must firmly establish that there is another character that you just didn't pick and who just is kind of unnoteworthy, really. She's just sort of there. She kind of does show you how to catch Pokemon instead of the fellow in red and in gold and silver who's just called Dude. I like how he is called Dude. And here is... I don't actually know what I'm going to be naming the rival, but I don't have to worry about it yet, because I still have shit like getting Mr. Pokemon and getting my starter Pokemon, I guess. Yeah, alright, give me my Pokemon. The interesting thing about selecting a starter in this game is if it's actually shiny, it will show up as such. So if I have a look in here and I find like a strangely yellowish Chikorita, then I've got a shiny Chikorita I can pick up. And lo and behold, we do not have a selection of a shiny Pokemon here. But I'm going to go with Totodile here. And then we have that. We'll just sort of have that. Yeah, there's if you watched Jish's LP of Platinum, he had this just random black chunk that he didn't know what to do with. My idea was just to put the team there. This is not the best idea. I basically created a bunch of images. As you can see, it's just an image of the Pokemon with the color in the background representing its type. So obviously it's going to be split in half if Pokemon is a dual type. So like if I decided to use a Bulbasaur or something, it would be part green and part purple for representing its two types. And these are easily made. I just go into paint.net, I make a 384x384 canvas, paint bucket it in with the respective color, which I color pick from an image that I got from Bulbapedia. It has a whole bunch of colors representing each of the types, and so I use that, and then I just take the sprite, download it from somewhere, whether it be Bulbapedia, Cerebi, or some kind of dedicated sprite hosting website, and I just stick it on top. It's, I think, the 4th generation sprites are, I believe, 120 by 120 by default, but I pump them up to about 256 by 256 so that they're a little bit easier to see. So the reason I went with Totodile is because Totodile was probably the most likely of the 3 Johto starters to even get a spot in my team. I'm still not entirely sure if it's going to get in my team. It's got a decent nature though, plus speed, which is nice. If it was anything minus attack, I'd have been a bit pissed off because this thing is... Usually when I pick Totodile, it's because it gets Ice Fang reasonably early-ish on. And so I've got a nice little bit of type coverage throughout the most of the game, although the Ice Fang is really only going to be good against Dragon types. So, I don't have to do this, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Blah, 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 blah. That's all funny and shit. Oh yeah, Pokegear. Yeah. Okay, so it actually is mandatory. It's been a while since I've played anything of Heart Gold, Soul Silver, or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. I said yes, and she still teaches me how to do the thing. I guess she goes into it a little bit more detail if you say no. I'm not entirely sure. Yes, and we have a speed up button, so we'll just get this out of the way because Elmer's not really that interesting. He's balding. Bit like me, but I've got more hair, but that's only because it's longer. And so, as you can probably expect, you can get all 493 Pokemon in this game without having to trade or anything like that. Trade evolutions in this game have been reduced to, I think you just use a certain item now. I'm not 100% sure about that. For some reason I want to say that Route 46 has starter Pokemon, but I think that that's only in Crystal Kaizo, which is a bit of a bullshit ROM hack. I played through that and it was absolutely horrendous. Zigzagoon you can pick up here. I'll be picking up one of those at some point for pickup. Not entirely sure why I'm picking up Apricorns. Not that I can because I don't have an Apricorn box, but whatever. I want to try to avoid wild encounters as much as possible here, because one of the things I've never liked about Pokemon games is that when you start the game, you get your starter and you just sort of get this errand that takes you through multiple routes and into a new city or something like that without any Pokeballs. Like, you can't go into the Pokemon to buy any Pokeballs, so if you are on this journey and you just come across a shiny, you're pretty much boned because you don't have any Pokeballs to catch it with. It's going to be very depressing if that happens. I'm really hoping that the LP curse doesn't strike here. The other dilemma is that if you run into Pokemon, you can just sort of kill them and gain experience and make the rival fight easier, but I don't have to worry too much about that because there is something else that I will talk about when it becomes relevant, but it's going to make the rival fight a considerable level easier than it should be. rival, of course, in this game is obviously going to have the Chikorita because it's the type that beats yours. So, map card, so I can look at the map, not like I really care. Although the idea of having the map on your poker gear and stuff like that is kind of nice. Going to ignore that item for now because I don't really want to mess around with that. I just want to get on and do this stuff, so... And this guy's just like, my house is so freaking awesome, how dare you just walk past it. It's very, very stupid. That's cool. Not like I really gave a shit because they're freaking apricorns, so whatever. So there's a Caterpie. Not like I'm gonna really give a shit about that. I don't plan on using Caterpies. As a matter of fact, if you saw my Fire Red Omega LP, you'll know that I only had one planned team member in that before the start of the playthrough. And Cynthia here is actually going to give me the one planned team member that I have for this playthrough. Before I do that, though, I want to save. Speed up key might be able to help with this. Okay, cool. I want to save before this because Cynthia, of course, is sort of not supposed to be here. This is actually new to the hack. And her dialogue is not very interesting. Actually, it kind of is. Now that she mentions the legendary trainer. Yeah, there's just some kind of legendary trainer thing. Yeah. So a TLDR, there's just a trainer that's picked by fate itself or something like that. And eventually catches everything, including Arceus and stuff like that, and sort of beats everyone down. So here we have an Eevee, and it is a male, so we will be resetting because I actually want a female one. Where do we reset? There we go. So this is where the saving comes in handy. I could save state, but I think that it doesn't really... I don't think it messes around with the RNG as much. So... Eevee has a 1 in 8 chance of being female, so it's going to be a bit obnoxious here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and cut back once I have my female Eevee. Ah! Why? Where have the sprites gone? What the hell is this? My god. In before I get a female here. God. If this is going to be a glitch thing that keeps happening... Okay, no, it's a male. I can just reset. Alright. Okay, so I've got my female Eevee. I'm quite happy with this, and now I can give it the nickname that I have planned for it. It will be called Illusen. Illusen, for those of you who don't know, is the name of an Earth Fairy from Neopets. Neopets obviously being a site where you just sort of collect pets. They are modeled after weird animals. There's one that's like a griffin sort of thing, and... There's like sharks and all dragons and all that sort of stuff, and it's sort of fun, and you play games and shit like that. It's kind of a kiddie thing. And there's a whole bunch of fairies and stuff like that of different elements. And so there's an Earth Fairy with the name of Illusen, as I said earlier. And so since I've named it after an Earth Fairy, that gives you a fair idea of what I'm going to be evolving this thing into. To just firmly establish what that's going to be. It is, in fact, going to be a Leafeon. That is the reason Chikorita was not ever going to get a look into being picked as one of my starters. And obviously, since I've used Cyndaquil recently, I was never going to pick that one either. So Totodile had the best shot, that's why I picked Totodile. And so here we have the Eggy Bagfuck. And here I would sort of like start putting in random sound bites.
Hello there!
From Pokemon Snap here, but that's probably going to take up too much effort, so I'm probably going to be too lazy of that. Too lazy of that. Okay. I'll just say that I'm too lazy to do that. You understand what I mean? I hope so.
Here is a present for you.
Thank you.
See you!
And thank you for your number. I'm totally going to be calling you 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week. I don't even call anybody on my real phone, so what the hell makes you think I'm going to be calling you at all? Besides, the only thing he really does when you call him is evaluate your Pokedex, so it's not like anybody... It's not like you have any real reason to give a shit. So, Professor Elms spilt the tuna casserole all over the place. I don't know what made me think of tuna casserole, but I had to come up with something random, but yeah, shit's kind of happened. And I'm probably going to be fighting a weird dinosaur-like thing with a leaf on its head very shortly. So yeah, this is the reason I didn't really care that much about grinding, is because I've got 2 Pokemon on me already, so I don't have to worry if Totodile gets knocked out, because Eevee can just clean up. Or Illusen can just clean up. So... And I believe from here I can dodge just about all of the grass, so I can get some Pokeballs before encountering any more wild Pokemon. So I think we've navigated the... I can't even think of the word to describe this, but whatever. We have avoided the potential just heartbreak of losing my shit at finding a shiny. Yeah, for the most part, this rival battle is completely unchanged. It doesn't have any grass-type moves or anything like that, or it doesn't seem to be using it. But I don't believe starters started with a move that was respected to their type until Gen 6, so we should be right. We have a speed tie though, which is kind of interesting. And there we go. It might have held on with 1 HP if it weren't for that crit, so I'm going to just say that that's a welcome crit. And the obligatory level up from beating your rival's starter Pokemon. And Water Gun. So we didn't have to wait too much for our first water move on this thing. So it's at least be useful. Jeez, what the fuck is this? Oh my god. Oh, are we going to have to put up with all this over the course of the game? There's got to be some kind of... There's got to be something that stops that from happening, right? Is this meant to be like an anti-piracy thing? I am not entirely sure. Let me go ahead and save here. And just reset so we can fix that up. Okay, we're a bit better now. See, I'm pretty sure I can dodge all of this grass. We've got more than enough time in future segments to worry about this grass, but for now I just want to get back, talk to Elm, do that sort of stuff, hand the egg in, and then I'll probably just call it a segment. Here we go. Da-da-da-da-da. You can piss off because I totally stole this Totodile. Just vanishes in a cloud of smoke. Uh-huh. Yeah, I still don't actually have any idea what I'm going to be naming this rival. So you know what? We're going to end the segment here. If you have any ideas for what to name the rival, drop them in the comments and I will certainly consider them. So, we will find out the name of this idiot next time, and then I will be getting some Pokeballs, and then I will probably come across a shiny. You know, if I find a shiny in the next segment, people are going to think that I hacked it because I just set it up to happen or some shit like that. Whatever. See you next time.